All right, this is Friar John and Friar Tom with the virtual classroom visit coming at you from the outdoors because you have summertime coming your way. And that's going to be, gosh, right around the corner. And we want to have an opportunity for you to really enjoy this summertime. And so we have selected some summertime activities in both our top 10 summertime movies. Some are really, really Catholic. Some are kind of Catholic, but you're going to love all of them. And I want to tell you that we've had a really strong response from our last trivia question that we gave in our last video that was called Secrets of the Sacristy Part 2. And we had responses from the Wynandes and also the Lortz family. Way to go! You have a special prize coming to your mailbox. The rest of you aren't going to get a thing. However, you can still submit your trivia answer to the question. You can even call the Lortzes or the Wynandes and say, what's the answer? And I will send you a prize if you tell us what is missing from the mass, what do we call it? What was missing from the preparation of the mass setup? We left some things out. We forgot some things. And we have those in mind for you. So without further ado, I want to give you our top 10 coming at you. So, oh yeah, my number 10 is Steve Martin in a movie called The Father of the Bride, where it captures the chaos of a family that's like running all different places, and also the warmth of the father preparing for his daughter's wedding. It's going to make you laugh, and it's going to make you cry, and you're going to love it. Check it out.
My number 10 is called The Scarlet and the Black. It's about a priest, an Irish priest who's served as part of the Vatican's diplomatic corps during the Nazi takeover of Europe, and how he outfoxed the Nazis. It's a very intriguing and interesting movie. I think you'll also learn a lot about the Catholic Church and how they dealt with Hitler and that terrible time.
If I Stay is my number 9. And If I Stay is about a moral dilemma that is a situation where a teenager is in an accident and they have the option, well, if I have the option to stay here, busy, loud birds. If I have the option to stay here on earth or have the option to go there to heaven, what do I choose? And it's a wonderful moral dilemma, and it's a great little teenage romance a little bit on the side, and the music is fantastic. You're going to love it. If I Stay.
Number 9 for me is, where's number 9? Oh, there it is. Okay, this is probably one of my favorite movies, The Miracle of Marcelino, or in Spanish it's called Marcelino Pan y Vino. It's about a little boy who is orphaned and is taken in by, guess who? Franciscan friars. And they take care of this little boy. He's quite a naughty little boy, though. He's always doing things to bother the friars. And one day he gets bit by a scorpion. He gets really, really sick. And so as he's getting better, he sneaks out of bed and he finds up in the attic of this friary a crucifix. And because he's such a simple little boy, so close to God, Jesus starts talking to him. And at the very end of the movie, he wants to spend more and more time with Jesus in this room. And at the end of the movie, they find him, he's gone to heaven, and he's also received his first communion through the hands of Jesus. You'll really like it. It's really a great movie.
Number 8 for me is a Disney movie called Coco. And if you've always wondered, well, what happens when our ancestors, the ones that we love, die before us, and we want to pray for them and we want to help them in purgatory advance their way to heaven? This is one of the most wonderful depictions of purgatory. Check it out. It's called Coco. It's animated, and you're going to love it. I'm pretty sure everyone who did it had to be Catholic. I mean, that's got to be a Catholic Disney movie if I ever saw one.
And if you want to know something about Mexican culture and the Day of the Dead, it's really worth seeing, okay?
Definitely.
And my favorite part of that is when Miguel is the little boy's name, and he's going, Buenos dias, buenas tardes, buenas noches, señores y señores. So I'm not going to tell you what that means, but anyway.
So we like the same movie. That's the first one
That's
we
the
came
first
together
one we
on.
like. Yes, yes.
Easy,
Yes.
miraculous.
We do like some things together. Yes, actually, amazing, isn't it? Okay, let's see. Next, okay, the white suit. Okay, it's about a little boy who wants to make his first communion not in an ordinary way. This is so important to him. So he, instead of making first communion with his class, he gets out of first communion by eating some food. And then he really tries hard to persuade his parents to buy him a white suit for communion. And so at the end, he has his first communion with this beautiful white suit. He looks like a little Navy guy. So just watch it. It's called The White Suit.
Number 7 for me is called Napoleon Dynamite. It's a dynamite movie. Why is it so great? Because if you've ever felt awkward as a kid or awkward as a teenager or felt like you really didn't fit in, maybe a little on the side nerdy, you're gonna love this movie. I related to so much in this movie of those opportunities when you just don't feel like you fit in, and in this movie the nerds win big. It's wonderful. Check it out. Napoleon Dynamite.
Actually, number 7 for me is a very special movie. It's I attribute it, in a sense, to my Franciscan vocation. It's the original St. Francis movie. It's based on a book by Louis de Wohl. It's just simply called St. Francis of Assisi. It deals with his love of God, and also he and his best friend go through this movie together, and they meet up in the Holy Land again. St. Francis, of course, is trying to make peace with the Muslims, and his best friend is a crusader who wants to kill them all. And so it's interesting how these two men keep running into each other and how the power and love of St. Francis helps his friend to change.
My number 6 is called For Greater Glory, and it's a story about the Cristeros in Mexico that stood up for Christ. They said, "Vive Cristo Rey!" And it was so inspiring, especially this little boy who is the star of the movie. He awakens the faith of the people that was really dormant at the time, and because of his way of just laying down his life for his friends and his family, he inspires this huge movement of standing up for Christ. It is very inspiring. It's not easy to watch. It's a tough watch, but it's every family should see it at least sometime, because this is just so inspiring. When you want to lay your life down for the Lord, you got to see For Greater Glory.
And believe it or not, that's something else we like together.
What?
Isn't that
That's
amazing?
2 movies on this list that surprised me.
That's pretty amazing. Okay. Anyway, yes, the movie's a little hard to watch, but you know, it might give you a little bit of idea of what it's like, what it would be like in the United States if the Catholic Church was persecuted, where people were forbidden to go to church. Just think about that, because that's never happened to us. My next movie is probably the first movie that I saw that really, the next 2 actually are who inspired me to be a priest. The Bells of St. Mary's, okay? It's a lovely movie with Barry Fitzgerald and Ingrid Bergman, okay? And it's all about the good Irish Catholics in the 1940s. And Bing Crosby comes to dear old Father Flanagan's rescue, portrayed by Barry Fitzgerald. It's a very heart-tugging movie. You'll like it.
In the 1940s, did they have the wheel back then? Did they invent
No,
that
they
yet?
had no electricity, no. No, I grew up without electricity, okay? Just so you know. Okay, no plumbing either, yes. I'm that old. Okay.
Okay, number 5 for me is The Hobbit. This is a J.R. Tolkien classic. The official title is The Hobbit: An Unexpected Journey. And it's about this little guy with hairy feet and a wonderful, robust hometown that he grows up in, just like Carrie. And he has such a love for his hometown that he wants to save the world. And I'm not going to tell you the story, but it's pretty amazing the influence these little hobbits have on the whole world of Hobbiton. It's Middle Earth, actually, they call it. And so check out this movie, because, you know, isn't it surprising that little packages make a huge influence. Think about it like a stick of dynamite. You light that down, it's like a huge influence, right? That's like a little hobbit on the world. They only grow to be about 4 feet tall, but boy, they have a huge impact on the whole world. And I think you're going to love it. One of my favorites.
By the way, about 2 months ago, I was in New Zealand, and I went to the place where The Hobbit was filmed. The only thing I remember about The Hobbit is Bilbo Baggins.
Bilbo.
I'm not going to tell you much about him, but Friar John can talk more about Bilbo later. Okay, number 5, very much like The Bells of St. Mary's, Going My Way. This is a story, again, about Bing Crosby playing a priest and about how he helps the pastor. Just like my associate is so helpful to the pastor. You know, just it's almost a repeat. You'll say, oh my goodness, that's Father Tom and Father John right there, okay? Just back a few centuries. I mean, a few decades. Okay. Moving along.
My number 4 is called Kicking and Screaming. And this is a story about a soccer team that was the worst soccer team ever. They're in last place. And Will Ferrell happens to be the coach, and he doesn't want to be the coach. And he is a hilarious comedian. I guarantee you will break at least one rib laughing from his antics. And I want to capture one scene that's fantastic is when he's in line waiting for coffee. You'll never forget that scene. It is so funny. Check it out. It's well worth it. And that's called Kicking and Screaming. A story about a father and a son who were very far apart, but as the movie goes, they get a little closer and a little closer together.
Il prossimo pellicola si chiama Cielo Rubato. Okay, what I'm
Are you
saying
speaking French?
No, Italiano.
Oh,
okay?
right, Italian.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Cielo Rubato means embezzled heaven. There's a little old lady, an Italian lady named Teta. Okay, Teta wants nothing more than her nephew to be a priest. Okay, but Teta's nephew doesn't really want to be a priest. So what he does is he lies to her. He takes all her money. She sends him money, and she thinks he's in the seminary, and he's a party animal. She's very disappointed toward the end of the film, and she thinks that she's really made a big mistake before God. A priest convinces her to get the blessing of Pope Pius XII. He was alive when I was a boy, when I was 8 years old. He's that long ago. Anyway, how she makes peace with God. And the most important thing about this movie is she forgives herself. Good movie to watch.
That's the Pink Panther song. Oh my goodness, you're gonna love Peter Sellers in the Pink Panther. He's kind of this klutzy detective that stumbles into the solving every case and never really plans on it. It is hilarious. You're gonna love his sense of humor and a wonderful comedian that, in my opinion, died too young. Peter Sellers. Gotta see him. The Pink Panther. Any of them. You're gonna love him.
His name in the movie is called Inspector Clouseau.
Clouseau,
Clouseau, oui,
Frenchman.
is very French, very France. And also, just remember, the Pink Panther is not about insulation for your house, okay? Just to let you know, okay? There's also insulation.
I don't think
that's
they're
called,
going to get that reference.
They're not going to get that, okay. Right?
That's for mom and dad.
That's for mom and dad. Okay. The next one is really old. This is even made before I was born. So they didn't have electricity. I'm not sure how they made this film. But anyway, it's called Come to the Stable. It's a beautiful home. It's a beautiful film with Celeste Holm and Loretta Young. Now, all of you are really old, but Loretta Young used to have this show. I don't know if, Ann, if you ever remember Loretta Young or not, but she used to come out. She was very kind of flamboyant type of lady. She used to come out and she'd open these doors when she came out. I'm here, you know, like this. And she was on Sunday nights. Now, you probably think I'm nuts, but ask your grandparents if they're over the age of 70, like me, okay? They'll remember it, okay?
What's Sunday nights? What is that? Like, just, what do they do?
It's called the
Sunday?
Loretta Young Show, and she had,
Loretta Young
it was
Show.
like a talent show. She is also a singer and an actor, and a very good Catholic, by the way.
Beautiful.
So it's about Christmas, about going to see the baby Jesus.
I love it.
Okay.
I love it already. Gotta check it out.
You gotta check it out.
All right, number 2. We're getting really close to our number 1 movie. Okay, number 2 is The Passion of the Christ by Mel Gibson, director. This comes with a parental guidance in PG rated. I would even say even more, because there's times where I just had to close my eyes because it's the story of Christ and it's so realistic that, oh my Lord, he suffered so much, and it's the way of the cross. We know how it ends, but we don't really know the steps along the way, and boy, Mel Gibson captured it really well. So this is a wonderful movie for Good Friday, or maybe a good movie for a suffering church right now. So if you're in a position where you just want to offer up some of your sufferings, watch Passion of the Christ. That's my number 2.
Yeah. And I wouldn't recommend this movie for younger children. It's very, very graphic. It doesn't hide anything about how much Jesus suffered, and it will leave. Especially, I recommend this for teens and above. This will really touch your soul. This movie. It just when I saw this movie, the theater was full. There was not a sound as anybody left the movie theater. So it's
riveting.
It's very riveting. Okay, my number 2 is called The Song of Bernadette. Probably my favorite movie. It's about Bernadette, a young girl in France who, in 1858, saw the Most Blessed Virgin Mary in the town of Lourdes in what was a garbage dump called Massabielle. Okay, and everybody thought, how could the Virgin Mary appear in a garbage dump? Now, Bernadette had to go there every day for 15 days to visit the lady, and the last time, the lady promised there would be a spring. So Bernadette started digging, and the water didn't come right away, so everybody thought she was crazy. So she suffered a lot, and then all of a sudden the spring came. I won't say the rest of the movie, but Bernadette is a person that will inspire you, especially when people don't understand you or make fun of you, that Bernadette trusted in the Blessed Virgin Mary so much that she remained calm and trustworthy in her faith until she died.
My number 1 movie is called Wings of Desire. Wings of Desire is a movie from 1987. You have to get the 87 version, because the ones after that, no good. The ones before that, no good. 1987, because that has Peter Falk in there, and he plays such a great detective with his trench coat and his smoking cigar, and just the way that he talks is wonderful. And it changed the way I pray to my guardian angel after seeing this movie, because it's from the perspective of the angels who want to be human. Wings of desire. They don't know what it's like to sneeze. They don't know what it's like to have goosebumps on your arm. They don't have any idea, and they desire to have an experience of being human. Oh my Lord, it changed my prayer to the guardian angel. Check it out, Wings of Desire.
And for those of you who don't know, Peter Falk was the one who played in Columbo, the popular detective series, and was always able to figure it out. Just very smart, and I love the way he used to ask questions. He would kind of play dumb, but he always knew what was up. Well, here's another movie that was made, just before I was born, before we had electricity. This is number 1, okay? But, I remember it. It's called Boys Town. Now, Boys Town was a place in Nebraska founded by a priest named Father Flanagan, who came from Ireland, who saw all kinds of boys on the streets who were orphans, who were really suffering, and he wanted to give them a home and also give them an education. So he founded Boys Town, and the first boy to come, one of the first boys to come, is played by Mickey Rooney. Now, Mickey Rooney, most of you don't remember, but he was really an interesting character. He was one of the few childhood actors who also became an adult actor, and that was very uncommon. For example, you think of Shirley Temple, okay? She was a childhood star, but she never went beyond that. You think of Jerry Mathers, remember the Beaver? Gee whiz, Wally, okay? Leave It to Beaver, you might watch those reruns if they're still on. Beaver is 71, okay? And he quit acting when he was 15. So again, Spencer Tracy is really a good actor all the way around. And of course, Spencer Tracy is classic. Spencer Tracy, for those of you who are movie fans, he had a very dear friend that he often played with as his opposite in the movies called Katharine Hepburn, in movies like Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. Okay, great movie. So anyway, that's my number 1. So anyway, just like we used to do, I think you're old enough to remember drive-in movies, are you?
Yes, drive-in movies.
Good.
Love drive-in
Okay.
movies.
And there may be a few drive-in movies around. Okay. We used to love to go, and one of my favorite things was before the movie started, was to see the commercials, and it always made me hungry because a little hot dog was running away from the mustard, and then it jumped into the bun. Okay. And then it said, "How about some popcorn right now?" And of course, my parents said to me, because we're always trying to save money, "No, you're not buying popcorn. No, you're not buying a hot dog." Okay, that's probably why I like hot dogs so much today, because I never had one when I was a child. Anyway,
So pull out your antique camera.
yes.
And we are going to show the coming attractions. Pull your camera out, Father Tom.
Oh, camera.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
So the coming attractions coming to your living room this summer.
Yes.
So hopefully you can share with us your favorite movie of summertime. Feel free to email that to Friar John. And also, we're still waiting for your answer to what was missing in the mass setup from our last virtual classroom visit from Secrets of the Sacristy 2. Please send that and you'll still get a prize.
And I have one more thing to say, and I know I'm expressing Father John's sentiments too. We're very proud of you. We know that it's been tough sometimes to be away from your friends, to have to go on virtual classroom or Google Classroom every day. You know it's not the same as school. And also to watch Mass on TV, that's not the same. But I want to thank you, and Friar John wants to thank you for how many times you've been helpful at home, you've done your homework, you've been cheerful, you've even been nice to your brothers and sisters, which I know is not easy sometimes, for all the times that you wanted to strangle them and you didn't. You really deserve a gold medal, and we're very proud of you. And you know what that's due to? The grace of God. God has been shining His grace on you and smiling down upon you during this difficult time. And so we are really looking forward to seeing you in a couple weeks at Mass. Take it away.
Peace and all good things.